Hi there, Dr. Allison J.K. here for Q&A with Dr. A, questions and answers with a female spiritual teacher. And this week's topic is how to make affirmations actually work for you by not using them. Affirmations don't work. It's like if I look in the mirror and I say, as an affirmation, for example, I have blonde hair. Well, yes, I do. So I don't need to affirm it because I already know it's true. So just by the implied nature of needing to say an affirmation, then that in and of itself speaks to you don't really believe it. So what happens when you say an affirmation is, here's the affirmation. Let's say it's, I have more than enough money to spend, and you're here with being broke. How do you close that distance and hold the vibration of having more than enough money that helps you create the vibrations that will sing out to the universe, so that the universe will match that vibration and help you have opportunities, possibilities, and inner shifts and awarenesses that will build a momentum towards you actually having more than enough money. Well, it's gradual, right? And when you are looking in the mirror with an affirmation, or you're saying an affirmation to yourself, like, I have more than enough money to spend, what's actually happening is all of the doubt and disbelief and knowing that that's not true, and the neediness and attachment to having it be true, is actually all of the unconscious, subconscious, and even conscious wanting and desiring of something different from a needy place and a not having place. All of that is what sings out vibrationally to the universe, that the universe then matches. Because all of the unspoken, right, that's a lot louder than our words and our thoughts, especially when we don't believe them. So remember, our first language is energy, and that's what the universe operates on. So what I know about that is, instead of doing affirmations, actually do the clearings and activations work that will help get you there. And it's not just one product usually. There are specific chakras that are relevant to having more money, allowing yourself to receive more, allowing yourself to choose more, increasing your capacity to take or make new choices so that they will lead to a different result of you having more than enough money. It's kind of along the same lines as if you're at a party and you're single and you are with a bunch of new people, and you instead gravitate over to talking to the men who, as a female, who look the same as the guys you're used to being in relationships with or dating. You're missing this whole other possibility of different men that look different, that can offer a new and different vibration. So when we are going for change, to close the distance between when we say I want A and we see B happening and our choices are still more aligned with B, that's when you know you have back of the house clearing to do of the unconscious and the subconscious. And one of the things that has to happen is that enough of the old has to get cleared out so that you can rise like a submarine above water and have your perception pick up new possibilities, like that new type of man, dissimilar to the types of men you're used to being in relationship with, or like having more than enough money when you're very habituated and accustomed to living tightly with having just enough to get by. So I have a lot of people who come on, they open the drawbridge calls as the way to get invited into one of my programs or services, if it's a fit for you, your desires, and the work I can offer. A lot of the times when it comes to investing time in themselves, it's like two different types of people, and it's been really interesting to watch through the years. There's those people who, when they're being asked for a four-figure investment in themselves, they will manage their own lack. If these are people, for example, who are coming in to improve their business or increase their money flows in a job, get a promotion or a raise, for example, or start a new business based on their passions, then there's two types of people. And this first one I'm starting to talk about is one who I see manage themselves down, manage their fear down when they're going, and they may find that out of their comfort zone, that amount of what they're used to investing in themselves, for example, or maybe it's not, but maybe at that time they feel like they don't have the extra flow. But they say, hey, I've even heard people say this out loud, more than one person. If I want something to change, if I want a different result, I have to take a different action. And then they'll put it on their credit card or they'll engage in a payment plan. And then, for example, this one woman who did this, she owned a brick and mortar clothing store in Colorado and hadn't had a lot of business, and it was aware that she had her own blocks, that should she go inside and work on herself and clear out those blocks, that the business would shift and the money flows would start coming in and it would improve, right? So she came in on the call and she said kind of along the lines of what I just gave as an example, and within that afternoon, so within 3 hours at most, she had a person come into the store, the first customer in a while, drop over $1,000. And I asked her when she reported this to me, is this atypical, like for the amounts that people usually accumulate in clothing from your store? Like, is it a high-end boutique so that $1,000 is easy to get to, or is that atypical? And she said, no, it's totally atypical. That's just one example. Another example is a woman who had just said yes and came into my signature program, Magic Manifestation and Money Flow, and she had a home-based business as an accountant. And within that afternoon, I don't know how many hours of saying yes, pushing herself to come out of her comfort zone, she had her husband walk in with 2 unexpected checks from clients who owed her back invoices. So there is a shift that gets catalyzed in you as well when you make a choice and a commitment, almost like a stand, command, and demand, that you will have this. And then that's what the universe begins to respond to. And to hold you there, then comes in all of the clearing of the unconscious and subconscious blocks, and then the coaching and the day-to-day choices where you may be shrinking back, and I'll hold you accountable to that new vibration with your desired goals that you stated on the Open the Drawbridge call that I know you're working with me for. So to be thinking that if you just repeat, I am abundance, money loves me, or I have more than enough money, when you don't, and that's what you want, and you're very aware of not having enough and how crappy that feels, then all of that comes up, as well as the causes why you've not yet gotten to the point of having more than enough money, like maybe aspects of I have to give in order to receive, and overgiving, rather than having the lines of receptivity opened towards you, which involves some of the heart chakra, but then other chakras are involved too. So affirmations what I've seen too is people come in whatever way, if they're on an Open the Drawbridge call, they're on the free monthly call and they're speaking up, or they're writing comments in the free vibrational upgrade Facebook group, where they're feeling bad about themselves, or they feel like they suck and they can never change this, or they've done something wrong because they've been using a tool out of context. So I just want you to understand that the sheer nature of why, like for example, if you're working with the beloved law of attraction, God bless it, with an affirmation form, like you're going to hold your desires, hold your focus on your desired outcome, and not think about what you don't want. How hard is that to do, right? But what I want to, without meditation practice, which develops the musculature for redirection back to the focus that you desire and off of the trailing monkey mind or the undesired thoughts, unless you have that neurological rewiring for that redirect to that pathway neurologically to be easily found and redirection back onto focus, that's going to be hard for you. So there are certain steps along the way for you to be able to have an easier time holding your focus on your desires. So I just don't want you to feel like you suck, or this stuff doesn't work, or you give up, or you quit, or you think that you can't have what you're dreaming about. You just have to be using the right tools at the right time. Blessings.